What's up? I'm Jocelyn McClellan, and today I want to bring to you a very, very key important thing for you. Why will your cream makeup not last? And what are things that you can do to avoid this is huge. Now, you might not wear cream makeup, or you might be on the fence about cream makeup because you've heard that cream makeup can't work for oily skin, cream makeup can't work for dry skin, or any other things that might be on the fence for you. But hopefully, after watching this video, there are key takeaways that you can take from this live as to how you can change up how you are doing your makeup. I have been doing these videos for 6+ years. I'm Jocelyn McClellan, and the product that I love to use when it comes to makeup is a cream foundation from Saint Beauty. Saint is found in the United States and Canada minus Quebec, and I love it from my heart. I keep trying other makeup to see if I still love it because that's just how I roll. And I do. The one cool thing about Saint makeup too, and one thing that you can know from my page is Saint, just because that is the makeup that I wear, that is the makeup I promote. I can talk about any makeup I want. But today I'm going to work with you on half of the face on how I am using the why won't your makeup stay method, and then the other half of my face was something else. So I wanted to start this live out with how we truly think that we need to go with our skincare, with our makeup, with everything like that, in the end with how it flows. And the thing when it comes down to with makeup is all that we use before we apply our makeup. So first of all, I'm going to I have my face washed, and then in the mornings, I know it's important to have a vitamin C serum, a hyaluronic acid, and I'm going to start out with that. So first, I'm going to go in with my vitamin C serum. And I'll get that a good amount all over. And vitamin C serum is just going to help defend your skin for the day from pollution, from sun, from issues, anything like that you might have. Okay. Now, the thing with the vitamin C serum, it's an oil, right? So if you just move into another product, it's going to be oily. Hi, you guys. How are you? It's going to be oily and it's going to leave that mess for you. So most people are not allowing that to have the time to sit. It's going to need more than this little minute or so. I use the hyaluronic acid from RFA Skincare. It is a skincare company that is made by, she's now a friend. She was not, I didn't know who she was before. I was just like, holy crap, she's got good products before. But this one, it just works really, really well with sitting with everything else, which is huge. But the thing with it is you have to let it dry long enough to not feel that you have that oil on your face. And that is going to take a good time. So you need to get that on your face while you're going to do your hair, go eat your breakfast, go do other things. So it is definitely working its way into the skin and sitting within the skin. So I'm going to though go about it how most people do. Then you're going to put your hyaluronic acid over the top. And this is a great hydration for the day. Okay. Now, on this side of my face, we're going to pretend that I gave all of that time to dry. So I'm actually going to do two different things on the face, but we're going to give that time to, like, we're going to pretend that I gave that whole 15 minutes time to dry, 20 minutes, whatever it is, time to dry with the vitamin C serum. And then I'm going to go to that. Then I'm going to take my moisturizer and I'm going to put moisturizer on because that's what we do, right? We just put moisturizer all over our face. Okay. And then we're going to let it sit just a little bit. But for time's sake of this, we're just going to pretend that sat a bit. Hello, what's up? Having a good Thursday? I love it. So that's just sitting, and we're going to pretend that we're letting it sit well enough that that tack isn't so strong or we can't feel the coldness of the moisturizer on our face any longer. Because if you're still feeling it cold, okay, it's got good tack to it still. But we're going to we're going to pretend that we're letting this sit a good 5 to 10 minutes onto the face because we've heard people say that on tutorials. All right. Then we're going to move on to our primer. So shake a primer up. We're going to get that primer on. And I want to make sure that that's nice and even on the skin. Okay. Make sure that that has time to dry. Definitely do not want to go into anything else because you can feel it cold on your face. You can feel all that. So now we're rocking and rolling. We're going to let that sit. I'll fan it so it can sit a little faster. I didn't know there was an order. Oh, you just wait, Lori. You just wait. Watch this too. If you stop watching right now, you are missing out. All right, then, so that's going to have time to sit, and it clearly needs more time than that. You have to let things have time to sit. Okay, it clearly needs more time than that, but just for video's sake, we're going to go. All right, now we're going to put on our sunscreen. Now, this sunscreen is a runny sunscreen. This one is one I'm testing out. So this one is one that most people would just put on their face, like just how everybody just thinks the sunscreen is a sunscreen. I'm going to put the sunscreen on. And did you know that if you use a minimal amount of sunscreen, it's not doing jack crap for your face? You really got to get a good amount of sunscreen on the face. So usually we're going to work it in layers, especially because this one's a really runny sunscreen. And so I'm going to want to do more than one layer of this sunscreen and really get it in there. So I'm going to let it sit for just a little bit. And we're going to pretend that it sat a little bit more than that. So remember though, as you do this is why I like to go and do my eyes in between when I'm doing things. I'll go take care of some other things to give it really that time to sit. So you could do phases, you could go journal in between, you could go do your dishes in between while you're working out those phases. So now we're going to put on another layer of sunscreen. In the beginning of this video, I talked about what the title was for this video and why your cream makeup doesn't last, and tips to avoid this is what this video is on if you didn't catch it at the very beginning. Okay, so now that has to have time to dry, and I would honestly probably do one more round of that, just depending how much you got, because like I said, it's a runny sunscreen, and so you definitely want to get that layer on. Okay, so now we have all this stuff. So I'm going to go into my cream makeup, and I am now going to do like I see other people do tutorials. PS, before you could go into your cream makeup, this is still very wet. If you are putting makeup on while this is still very extremely tacky to the point that the tack is slippery. It's very, very, very slippery. Okay. So this needs to have time to sit. And at this stage, you're going to want it to sit for probably a good 10 minutes again, so that is just really absorbing into the face. Okay. So then I'm going to go put on my makeup, and I'm going to start with my cream foundation. And make sure if you're getting off of this live right now, you better come back to it, because what you're seeing me do right now is not the outcome of this video at all. Okay. This is not what you're seeing. You're just like, okay, Jocelyn said to lather that on. Do not leave this live. All right, so we're putting that on, and then I'm going to go in and throw on my foundation. We'll pretend that we already bronzed and all that jazz, and I threw it all on, and I got some blush on my cheek and all of that. And then as the day goes by, and as I feel this, it's literally just slipping off of my face. And you could be watching this right now and you could be saying, well, yeah, it's slipping off your face because you didn't give things time to dry. But do you know what the number one reason why your makeup isn't staying is? Because this is how you're doing your makeup. So you are layering and layering and layering your cream makeup. And when you're a beginner with your cream makeup and you are over 40 applying your makeup, over 50 applying your makeup, you're doing makeup over your 60-year-olds, whatever, your skin is thin. It's getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and you're layering and layering and layering. We didn't even go to talk about what your skin type was. We didn't even talk about the kind of skin you have or what you're dealing with. Or do you live in a humid area? If you live in a humid area and you do this to your skin, your cream makeup does not have a chance to stay on. So we want to work with tips that to avoid this problem right here. How come your makeup is not lasting all day? Or how can you get your makeup to last longer? And here is your answer for that. So on this side, my whatever this is called, my vitamin C serum has had time to sit. I have magically gone and done my eyes already. And I then am going to put my hyaluronic acid on. We're going to pretend that that is on. It is sat. It has done its trick. And then I'm going to go to that sunscreen. So instead of just throwing a sunscreen on, I'm going to ask myself, is this sunscreen for my skin type? When I researched it out and I looked it up, did I look up, is this a hydrating sunscreen? Is this one that's made for oily skin? How will I know? I'm going to test it because really and truly, this sunscreen can be my nemesis. This sunscreen could be the problem. So instead, I'm going to go to Jocelyn's blog. I'm going to go to fitmissionmakeup.com/blog, and I'm going to ask Jocelyn, or I'm going to see what Jocelyn has to say. I'm Jocelyn. Brady hates it if I talk third person. I'll see what she has to say for what's a great recommendation for my skin type. So I did not go out with this intention at all. This is what came up just for me testing out things. And it was the best thing that happened for me. So instead of putting that sunscreen on my whole entire face, I am going to take a sunscreen and address my skin type. So I have a sunscreen for oily skin, and I'm going to put this on where I am oily. Did you notice how I didn't put anything the same on this side? Did you notice that I didn't do a billion layers on this side? Did you notice that I did a billion layers on this side? Now, this sunscreen right here, because it's made for oily skin, it tacks up and it gets on the face really, really fast. So you got to keep it moving really, really well, or it gets too thick and you run into issues with it because it is made for oily skin. Guess what? If I had you put this onto your face with all of this crap, this is thick. It's a thicker sunscreen. It's going to act as your primer. You're not putting a primer on this face at all. Completely gone. You're not putting moisturizer all over your face on this side. You're not putting on layers and layers and layers of things on this face. It's gone. You're saving your money. You're saving your time. Because do you know how much time I just told you needed to wait in between each layer? I only told you with the initial thing, you need to save, or you need to take time for this to fully absorb. That was one time. Okay. You do have to, with this one, there's another time, but it goes way quicker than this one does. But instead, the first time I asked you to wait long time for this, wait 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 for this. So you have now waited this much time. And do you know how much time you've just waited out of all of these? Probably 40 minutes to wait the amount of time that is needed in between each layer for it to absorb into the skin to let it be. And you're wondering why your makeup won't stay all day. So you've just lost 45 minutes. Does it take you 45 minutes to get ready? No. Do you want it to take you 45? So it would take you 45 minutes for this, plus the amount of time it took you to do your hair and the amount of time it took you to do your makeup. Because if you're not letting things absorb in, you have a major problem. But this isn't necessary because now we're choosing a sunscreen that's for a skin type. This already has this built-in hydration for it. So adding in more things is not necessary. If you are not hydrating your skin at night really well, that's your problem. So if you're watching this right now and you're saying, Jocelyn, I have dry skin, I need hydration. If all you're doing at night is putting on a moisturizer and calling it a day, there's your problem. You're not doing things to actually work with it. If you have oily skin and you don't do anything besides wash your face and put maybe just some basics on it, there's your problem. You have oily skin, and oily skin has dry skin. Oily skin is trying to make up for what it's missing. And so because you're not taking care of it at night, you're adding more to that oily skin. You're putting on all these products to build with it when they're not necessary. So now instead, I'm going to use this. This one is fine for dry skin, but I wouldn't use it on my whole entire face. Okay, so there's one layer. This is that watery one. So that is one layer. Give it time. And honestly, I have this little fan that is so helpful. It's actually in my bag, so I can't grab it right now. But it's crazy helpful for things to dry quicker. We're just going to tap that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to move, while that sits, I'm going to move and save my time and move on to my brows and move on to my eyes. So I already have eye primer on. And then I'm going to go in and do a basic, pretty, not too intense basic, because I actually have to go to the dermatologist today. And he has to check out my face. So I'm going to get a couple moles removed. I've always debated if I should get this one removed, but I'm like, that just seems, I don't know if I trust the doctors enough for that one because it's on my face. And if they don't do a good job, I'm host because I show my face way too much on this thing. I think I need to go to like a plastic surgeon. If you are watching this video and you've had a bigger mole removed off of your face, tell me the steps you took. Like, surely a plastic surgeon? Okay. Here's another thing that you can avoid if you do makeup over 40. You want to make sure you're leaning your head back when you're finishing out the eyeshadow. So when you first initially do it, you can have your eye be like this, but you have creasing. You now have mature skin. You are getting creasing. So I want you to tilt that head back and really get it in that crack. And if you have a lot of excess skin, I want you to make sure that you are holding that skin down. The other thing I want you to make sure is if you're applying your makeup with your eyes up, especially if you have hooded eyes. If you're watching this right now and you have hooded eyes, you need to listen to me. You're going to take your brows that you normally have up and you're going to lower them down. And you're going to get that excess skin that is usually raised up. It is now showing, so you can get out onto that brow bone. If you have hooded eyes, well, anybody's eyes, we want to get that makeup out onto that brow bone. So then I'm going to go in with my next color that I'm just going to finish on this edge. It's a darker color, but here's the thing too. If I have my eyes open and I'm putting this on, okay, I'm creating this shape initially first. So I just want to create the shape. And that is great to do with your eyes open. You don't need to close it and do it. You can have your eyes like that. But then from there, if you don't go, look at that crease that I have. So most people will say, my makeup always creases no matter what I do. It's a you problem, and you need to address that and fix that. So what you're going to do is you're going to tilt the head back, you're going to hold that skin down, and you're going to get into that crack. Okay, and while I'm doing this, that sunscreen is absorbing into the skin, right? It's having its time to do its job. Again, on this one, I'll turn the brush over to that same brush that has that pigment on it, and I'm going to tap it into place. So I'm tapping it and getting it in there. Whoa. And then I am now pressing to kind of fan it out, but to also, I lost those harsh lines. Total game changer, right? Total game changer. Okay, and that is still showing up pretty strong right there. So I'm going to address why, and I'm going to blend this out and get to the bottom of it. Now, when it comes to my, I'm not going to finish my eyes because I want to roll into the face for you really quickly. But when it comes to, where did I place my, my pen? Oh, here it is. Okay, so when it comes to the eyeliner, the biggest thing when you're getting older, makeup over 40, 50, 60, whatever, is the droop that the eyes will carry you. So if you were to take your eye and actually follow it down, you'll be following it all the way down. So you will be coming, I need to get this. You will be coming and you will be bringing your pencil all the way down, okay? Like so. And instead, we're going to be coming to almost the very edge of it. But instead of that, we're going to shift and we're going to have it come follow this line. So the very, not into the water line, but right underneath that, we're going to have that follow that line as if that just continued down. And instead, we're going to then marry the two together, connect the two. And you can make that as much as a wing as you want. You don't even have to go that high, but just getting the lift instead of dropping it down, and look at which one brings your eye up more. Okay, so that side does. It makes such a difference for your eyes. Here's that side. Here's that side. Okay. All right, how we doing? How is this? I want to wrap this up. So on this side now, I have this tack to my face. On this side, it literally just feels like everything is falling off of my face. But the other thing that people are messing with is they're trying to apply their makeup with a big brush. And so when they go on, they're sweeping all this makeup onto their face because they think they have to. See how you can see the particles of the makeup in the brush? That's too much cream than what's needed. And what happens is everybody tends to just keep sweeping because that's what they're used to with a liquid foundation. Because with a liquid foundation, when you put it on the brush, you sweep it like this. And so that's what people think that they're going to do with their cream makeup. So if you want to avoid your makeup slipping all over the place, we're going to be very specific with how we apply. First, I've separated these out for a different life. Okay, it's an eye lift, right? First, we're going to go in and add bronzer to the face with our cream foundation, our cream makeup. And with Saint, they call their whole thing, everything that's in the compact, they call it the foundation. Because if you place your makeup in key places instead of just smearing on the whole face, that's less layering that you have to do, but you're getting to the bottom of what it is that you truly need. So instead, I'm going to take that bigger brush and I'm just going to go into the places that I want to add in that bronzer and add in that warmth to my face up front. And notice things are left undone. Whereas on this side, wait, let me get that one brush. On this side, I would need to add another layer and like so. Okay, then I'm going to take my contour and I'm going to only contour like where you can't really see it, but you know it's going because you know that you see how you didn't really see it go on. I'm not having to blend it out because I saw it go on. I know that I'm just now stippling because I know it hit it up and I know I have a more chiseled look now. So again, I didn't have to over blend. I didn't have to waste my time blending. I'm saving my time with my application and it's changing the flow of my makeup. So, and then if I'm trying to create a chiseled jawline, I want to have a straight line, come right underneath that, and then pull down. Okay, next I can take that bigger brush and I can now apply my foundation, but I'm going to apply my foundation a little differently than on the other side. First, I'm going to go to the areas that I know I can address first, but how I get my makeup out is barely just a little stipple that I'm using in these areas and being very specific with stipples because the stipples are allowing less makeup to be needed. And it's also allowing it to just trap into those areas and just groove with them. And so this is where I color correct first. I'm actually using a darker foundation where I naturally am darker. And then I'm going to take a lighter color and come right in here. I'll maybe mix the two depending on my tan for the day. And I'm going to stipple that. Now I am going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to go in very specifically. That was even too much makeup. So if I ever have too much on my brush, I'll either just literally wipe off excess onto my hand, but it truly is like the most minute dabs. But then I come down here and slowly work my way up. Because the more we get into those creases, the more creasing we're going to have, the more makeup we go. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in any place that I missed, which that big brush can't get here very well. Okay, so you notice I didn't put a ton of layers on. So already on this side, I would need to be then putting, this is where people will naturally put, they'll go like this, and they'll go like this, and then they'll bring them in like so. And we just have a lot of layering going on when you already had foundation all over. So then we'll put that here. Okay. And then on this side, I just didn't get my forehead right in here. And I want to clean up that bronzer line. All right. Then I'm going to add my blush. So I'm going to just do a little bit of blush here. And then that is completely done without having to have a ton of makeup on. So blush on this side. And we're done there. And so that's the difference with this makeup. Ooh, I have a little hair. I can feel it on my face. Okay. So we're done there now. Now, if you have oily skin, you're taking care of your sunscreen for how it is. This is going to help for you to not have that slippage. If it's harder for you, you still don't trust the process, because I'm at the point now where I don't even need powders. I don't need setting sprays. I don't need any of that. I don't finish with the setting spray. But if you do feel that you need to go in with a powder after, make sure it's a flatter end brush. I have actually a really good one, but it's not over here right now. So I'm not using my favorite pick. But you want to have a flatter end brush, and then you're going to tap off any excess because we want as little layering as possible. And you're going to press your powder in where you feel that you get oily. But remember, the more layers we're putting on, the more our makeup isn't going to stay. So I hope, like, when you go and think about makeup, I want you to take away everything that we've known or been told about layer this, layer this, layer this, you need this, you need this, and you need this. I think that the reason how this all came about was because people were using makeups that were more, and we're so used to people having dry skin because people haven't been taking care of their skin. So if the skin is extremely dry, the look of the makeup on it will not look good. So if makeup artists went and told people to add in all this hydration beforehand, and then you put on a liquid foundation, which is naturally already a more drier makeup too, then you're going to see that it's going to look prettier, but it's not necessarily going to stay, but it might stay more because their skin was so dry. But your makeup is going to look way better throughout every single day if at night you're really hydrating it, you're really taking care of your skin, and in the day you throw on your sunscreen, right? So I used the vitamin C serum. I did use the hyaluronic acid because this is a natural hydrator. But if you don't even need to use this in the day and you reserve this for night, be my guest. But this is a protector. And so we need to make sure that we're allowing it to have that time to absorb in and do a great job for us there. Okay. All right. So hopefully these tips helped you out. I don't want you to ever feel like yes, you can use the vitamin C serum every single day. If you are more sensitive, like you have rosacea, you're just noticing that it's more sensitive for you, you can use it at night because sometimes, okay, if you use this and you don't put sunscreen on, you're hosing your skin even more. So you need to make sure that you're putting this on in the day and wearing sunscreen and reapply your sunscreen as well. But if you also feel that you have more sensitive skin and you can do this at night, that's an option for you too. But yes, you can use that every single day. Hyaluronic acid, I literally use it based on the condition of my skin that day. If I got done traveling, I'm for sure going to use it. But if I already feel that my skin's hydrating well, it's looking great, it feels great, I can leave that one alone and then literally just put on the sunscreen. Now, if you heard in the beginning, my blog is fitmissionmakeup.com/blog. It's called Sunscreen Guide. I keep it current. If I have been testing, I can't even tell you, and I have more coming, all these sunscreens that I've been testing out, more and more and more. And so if I feel like the ones that are up there now, which are I tried and true, so good. If I feel like, oh my gosh, this outdid the ones I already have, I will update it and put these newer ones on it. But so far, we're good. One of them I have to take off because they changed the sunscreen. It was for oily skin. It was so good. It was the Panoxyl one. That one, the old formula, is not as good as the other one when it comes to oily skin. So I hope this live benefited you. If you make sure that you subscribe to this channel, if you haven't already, comment in the comments if you ever need anything from me. If you're wanting any links to things, you can ask for it too in the comments as well. And I hope to see you on the next time. But if you're not following me over on Instagram, you can follow me there at jocelyn.mcclellan. And on Facebook, it's Fit Mission Makeup with Jocelyn McClellan. If you're not part of my newsletter, you can put in the comments that you want the link for the newsletter. It goes out every Tuesday. And I don't just cover makeup and hair. I cover all kinds of fun things. And I think that people really do like that newsletter. But have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.